Hey everyone, welcome back to So Well Media. We are back with the final season of Stranger Things, Volume 1. Volume 1. Volume 2 will be the second part of this cinematic conclusion, if you call it, and on Christmas Day. And then the final episode or finale will be coming on New Year's Eve.
Eve.
Yes. And so yeah, we got the first, what was it, 4 episodes?
First four episodes that had dropped literally right in time for Thanksgiving, before you spend some time with the family, see how they're doing in Hawkins, which is not great so far.
Yeah, and after the events of season 4, this is the final showdown between the team of Hawkins against Vecna, and we've seen these characters now in different points of their lives. But I will say that this volume definitely was a good appetizer for the main entree, whatever we'll get on Christmas Day in a couple of weeks. And I will say, from someone that, even much as I enjoyed the show, I felt that there were certain seasons were better than others, and I felt the momentum kind of got dragged on a little bit in season 4, especially with that mid-season break that they did. That kind of just stunted the momentum for me personally. But I felt with this season, each episode was about an hour, maybe 50 minutes, 55 minutes, tops or anything like that. But it was at least over an hour episode. And I felt each episode definitely gave me the momentum I needed to be excited for this season. And what we got off with this amazing cliffhanger with one character, Will, honestly, it was well earned. It was emotional, and it felt cinematic, even though I was watching on my television screen. But I felt that was a big payoff and a lot of reveals, and also questions that came up in these 4 episodes about how this is going to end. But yeah, what was your thoughts in terms of the first 4 episodes of Volume 1 of Stranger Things Season 5?
One of the things you could definitely say when looking back at the past seasons is like when they start off, you have to get the momentum going, and it may take a while, especially given what story the Duffer Brothers are trying to tell with each season. But I think with this one, going straight from where season 4 left off, even though again that was 3 years ago, but still like directly from where it left off, with them being like, okay, yeah, now we're not wasting any time, we need to find Vecna before things get worse, we can't rest, we can't even leave Hawkins because we're in military quarantine. So just everything that they're dealing with, it makes you, it feels like a ticking clock. It's like, okay, at any moment Vecna is going to show up. We need to do something before he does something, because right now he has home field advantage. And it really makes the characters proactive here. You got 11 and Hopper trying to train to be prepared for when they go through, their crawl, as they call it, to get to the Upside Down. You got Will still dealing with his connection to Vecna. Hell, I still don't know. It's still crazy how they literally did a flashback into an unseen moment in season 1 with great VFX and some great work from some young actors. But again, it's just like the seed plants that they have in there, or even just the fact that these characters have definitely grown up. I mean, not talking about the actors, of course, being way older than the characters, but talking about the actual characters. Like Dustin, for example, especially after what happened to Eddie last season, he's still Dustin, but it's like he's much like how it was with Steve. He's emulating the person that he looks up to. And with that last being Eddie, it's like he's a lot more rebellious than he has been before. Or again, like Will trying to not feel like the helpless person that he has been the last, I'd say, 2 seasons since season 2, or 11 trying to prove herself, and especially Hopper trying to get over the trauma of his daughter that, from season 1 that, he lost. There's just a lot going on, but I feel like it all perfectly serves the story, or perfectly serves these characters maturing into who they will be by the time we're done with this final season, and who they are meant to become, which, yes, I said meant to become given that cliffhanger. But yeah, again, there's just a lot going on, but I found it very enjoyable.
Yeah, like we're seeing when first saw that scene with Dustin at the high school and seeing Mike and Lucas show up. Now, I know people are gonna make fun of that. Well, one, because of Lucas's hairline, but which rightfully so. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, listen, I know this place is quarantine, but if this is in like the 1980s and this place is quarantine and you have no black barbers in this town, I don't blame you for looking like Black Wolverine. Earth Negro. You know what I mean? Like,
Like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, come on, you can't tell me there. You can't tell me
Seriously,
there ain't
I'm like
one.
season 4. I'm like, okay, he got the flap top, he got the Hey Arnold looking, thing,
Yeah.
recess looking, flat top and stuff. Come on, like
Uh-huh.
you got to go back to your childhood, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you do hairlines
Yeah,
with
yeah,
black
yeah.
characters. But this is like, no. Let's make this dude Wolverine or something. He looks like Miles, but then he looks like he's in on another universe beyond it. All
No.
that stuff.
Like, come on. You can't tell me there ain't one. Like, even if it ain't a professional barber, you can't tell me that you can't find the equivalent of what the 80s had for a supercuts to get your shit lined up. Come on, man. Like, I know you are upset about Max, but come on, man.
Right. I'm so depressed. I'm not even cutting my own hair. I know this is season 5, but my hairline it's still there. It's still stuck in season 4, part 1. But
Like, even
I don't
Will,
know, man.
even Will has a better haircut. They finally got rid of the bowl cut for this dude.
It was
better.
a slight shape up. Like it is not a clean cut, bob, as you go and call it, whatever, like the Guy Gardner looking, type of haircut, whatever, like, no, it's not none of that, because he has maturity evolved. But Lucas, again, I don't want to spend so much time on his hair, but it's just like, come on.
Come on.
No, but like, it was kind of stereotypical for them to come, like, it was kind of like Disney-fied level, like, hey, you better not mess with my, my bro, my sister, she kicked your nuts last season. I can, I'll kick him so hard it'll burst like water balloons, all that stuff. I'm like, okay. And then, it's so stupid. But then, like, Mike showing up, but like, a part of it was also, I smiled because you saw these kids, that were picked on and bullied in season 1, and it's like, no, after everything they experienced, you showing natural progression. Like, no, you can't mess with us, bullies. We're dealing with freaking demons from other dimensions.
We've seen worse than y'all at this point. We've had people die in our arms. You are nothing.
Right, and I think that was like coming to his own when he defeated one of his teammates in season 4, right? That ultimately died, right? But like, he stood up for himself, and then now, like, I don't want to say that he has that level of confidence or street cred, we want to call it, but like him, Mike, and everyone, all of them are now this tight-knit group. It's like, no, we're about business, and you're not gonna mess with Dustin. But yet Dustin's hard-headed, and it would make sense for him to be with that one person out of the group to be the rebellious one. But him honoring Eddie with his shirt and everything like that, and with the Hellfire Club, like, I thought it was nice. But I will go talk about 11, like, where she is like, again, she's full on training day, like going on and preparing, for the final showdown and stuff with the help of Hopper. And I felt like, again, their relationship is now stronger than ever, but she's just so determined after one, losing her powers in season 4 and getting them back, to now that is like, okay, now I must put an end to this and stuff. But what are your thoughts on where 11 is, and how she's kind of pushing herself and kind of being hard-headed also to Hopper too, and trying to, and when Hopper is going back to his father mode of being protector and protecting his child, or his his adopted daughter now, right? What was your thoughts on that?
Look, we've seen them grow so much since Hopper basically adopted her back in season 2, and it's like, as he even said, it's like she's basically how he was she is basically the mirror image of him at her age, being, as said, a stubborn punk ass to his own father. So it's like, 11, I don't blame either of them, because it's like 11 knows what's at stake. Like, all the kids know what's at stake. It's like, they may all still be technically teenagers or kids, but they've gone through so much at this point that it's like they've matured so much that it's just like, it's do or die, like now or never. Like, there's decisions that got to be made, and if I need to put myself on the line, I will. But you also understand Hopper's situation, because it's like 11 basically brought back like the joy and the love that he had lost after losing his actual biological daughter, before the events of season 1. And it's like, you understand, it's like, she wants to do what needs to be done, but he also does not want to lose her. And I guess, and I mean, hell, like, she almost lost him, because everyone thought he was dead until he came back last season. So it's like, you understand it you understand it's like, yes, there are things that need to be done when it comes to taking down Vecna and stopping the Upside Down from bleeding into their world any further.
Correct.
But at the same time, you don't want these characters to get hurt. I mean, someone's going to get hurt. We know there's not going to be no casualties by the end of this whole thing, but you don't want these characters to get hurt. But you understand that there are just some risks that need to be taken. And I think as we go along with their journey in the Upside Down, and eventually when they do get back to everyone else, not just the ones that are in the Upside Down now, but also back to normal reality, the more things go along, I think the more that they'll understand each other's side of things, you know, before the final episode. So
yeah, and I want to go talk about where Vecna, even though really we saw parts of him, but in multiple episodes, but until when he shows up at the end, but he basically found a foot in the door with trying to somehow lure children, and he lures
Holly, Mike's younger sister, who's always had a keen eye for this stuff, but is now playing a very more pivotal role than she has the last couple. I mean, hell, the entire family is playing a much more pivotal role this season.
Right. Now, also with that thing, like with Holly, that scene in season 1 of her following the lights and everything like that. Now, you want to call that coincidence, whatever, now that she's a focal point in the final season, so be it. But again, I think until they actually revealed that, I think it just, it was just a coincidence. But for her to have this imaginary friend of Mr. Whatsit, and then you find out it is actually Vecna that is just trying to lure her in and you later find out there's other children as well. But I like that we also see Mike in a big brother role, that usually you would see that dynamic of brother and sister with his older sister, but him now being a bigger brother to his younger sister, and literally the same age, around the same age that he was when he started. So if I play the math correctly, I mean the actress,
the actress, yes. So I mean, yeah, in a sense, she basically is just about the same age they were back in season 1. So yeah. So it's kind of just reliving history, but also just kind of like I've been where you at, where I've seen things and experienced things where people don't believe me, and I also want to pass that on to you, just saying like, I rely on D&D to give me strength, so here you are, this character, and which we find out that in some form or fashion that Vecna is somehow locked up or trapped somewhere within the Upside Down, but we find out it's actually within his own mind, and we realize that he's not alone, because we get the return of Max. We find out that she is alive, and that she is basically just trapped there, and eventually she crossed paths with Mike's younger sister Holly, and basically give her the rundown that she's basically been running this whole time since she's been here, but she has no way of getting out, but yet to find that the sister's now here. Now there is a way to get out. But what were your thoughts on the fact of, one, that Max is alive, and two, that Holly is now on this type of supernatural journey with Vecna, and Vecna trying to find this other way of luring these children in? I feel like on Holly, again, as we said with Holly, it's like, it's really just insane the fact that they've made her so important into the story, but by being the one that's trapped within Vecna's mind, and most likely is going to be someone that I feel like in some cases she's going to pull a one-up on him that he's not expecting. Like, she's going to be being the one connected to the others. I feel like she's going to be the one to do that. But going along with Max is like, it's interesting how they have Max going along with this season, because it's like, we thought, oh, where's Matt? Like, she's in a coma, even on the poster she just got her laid up, unlike everyone else who's just staring, got her laid up. But no, she's trapped in Vecna's mind and Henry's mindscape, going through things of the past, even past that connect to the freaking Stranger Things play that's currently going on, that explores Henry Creel, aka Vecna's past before, or in between some of the stuff we already saw last season. I mean, even again, go look up the play, because I feel like it's actually going to be very important going into this season. It's like, I was not expecting that, but at the same time, gosh, bring that in, the whole past stuff. But no, I think it's going to be interesting, because I feel like Vecna's whole mindscape is going to lead to some things, maybe even reveal what Vecna's true motives are behind kidnapping all these children, because there's been a lot of theories out there about why he's doing it. And again, that's why I said go look at the play. But it's like there's a lot of theories out there, so it's like we'll see how it goes. But I feel like it's about to be probably the most important thing for this final season, outside of the big thing with Will that we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah, because I think there is tying to Vecna and children, throughout this entire first volume, and then we see how this season opened up with a flashback of Will when he was captured as a child, and we're seeing that again, this is something that is going to have a pivotal part to what he's doing with other children, and again, this is a master plan that we're seeing evolving here. But speaking of other children, I think we also got good new additions of we got returning characters like Erica. You can't spell America without Erica.
God dang it.
And also new additions. I forgot the character's name.
Suck my phone.
The character's name is Derek. The character's name is Derek.
Yeah, first of all, I think that actor is just a complete character, and definitely with a lot of charisma. And I know this is one of like his first roles he ever done, and but I think he absolutely killed it, and definitely set a mark for this season just as a character and stuff. But I thought it was really good because they could easily just made him just another stereotypical type of kid character who's like a douchebag, whatever. But like which we've seen them done plenty of times. But like no, he actually has value. I like that they incorporated him with the gang of actually bringing escaping children out and stuff, which also created that meme of just like Mr. What's it?
That's it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, also shout out to that
the kid worked with Caleb.
Right, and shout out to that kid because that actually is that kid played a younger brother to Caleb in the Lee Daniels film on Netflix with Monique and Andra Day, Deliverance. He plays his younger brother. I was like, wait, I know that. Yeah. So I'm glad they brought him.
that moment took me off. Mr. What's it?
Yes, it was hilarious. But as we go to wrap things up here, as at the end of this episode, when we're seeing this now, government facilities now trying to also bring children because they were also trying to find 11 and hunt her down. That are being run by Sarah Connor herself, and basically she has some type of vendetta against 11, but really she's just trying to get to the bottom of this. And again, every season or so in every Transformers movie, there gotta be that dumb government official that's going to just be a thorn in the hero's journey and stuff. But as Hopper, you think that he's going to sacrifice his life, as they're getting in, trying to infiltrate, see that if Vecna is actually in this facility, and you find out that it's actually not. Vecna is actually a returning character from one of the worst episodes of this entire show. And what number was she? Was she 8? What number was she?
I think I can't remember the number, but
that's how bad the episode was. But anyway, her sister.
Yes, basically.
Right. But anyway, and she's been captured, and she looked like she'd been experimented on and everything. So after she left and escaped in season 2, apparently they've been capturing her. We don't know. Maybe she's been there the whole time, and we don't know. But it looks like we got multiple players that are going to play a part in defeating Vecna, which is good because not everything should be on the shoulders of 11, or she's like she's just this Christ-like figure that only she can stop. Right now, will she probably get the final blow? Maybe, but either way,
but it's no. That's why. Like, that's why it was so funny looking at the cast table read, and she's like, now you got to deal with that bloody nose.
Right.
It's like, not just hilarious. On my shoulders anymore.
Right. We got at least 3 or 4 characters now that like, okay, you can probably take out, Vecna or do some way to, attacking Max, 11, Will, and now 11's sister, number 8 or whatever number is. But again, that's how bad the episode was. We just don't really want to forget it. I remember I saw that episode. That was my freshman year in college. Yeah, no. But as we get into this, we had as we're leading up to the group of Hawkins just trying to infiltrate the government camp or whatever within Upside Down, trying to free these kids. We see also Robin, who she's been one of my new favorite characters here. I've been seeing people have criticisms about her that she's just completely different than what she is as being this like reserved or emo type character. But I'm like, for me, I thought that her being like Rockin' Robin was kind of like her, I say, coming out of not just in terms of like her sexuality, but just her confidence in who she is now that she's allowing people, to be people in her life to be friends and stuff like that. And while you're, around people that you love and care about, you become more fuller of yourself and whole as a person and confident. And I think that when she, seeing Will as he's having a conversation with Mike, but you also see there's something going on with Will that he's like suppressing something. And I don't know why, but like there's a big conversation again about representation, right? About diversity, different type of sexualities and stuff like that being depicted, whatever. But and thing that keeps getting get beaten over the stick with these studios is that they're trying to bite off more they can chew, and then they overthink that, we must make this the center point of this story. And then by doing that, you end up not only alienating the viewers, you also alienate the community that you're trying to represent, because now you basically create a plot line that's diverging away from the actual story of the film or show, and now we're just basically getting distracted by either messaging or propaganda, right? And unfortunately, a lot of films and shows have fallen into that trap. But I like the fact that this wasn't about Will's sexuality. This is about him as a person, and as a human being, that he was kind of like this innocent or damsel in distress child, whatever, that got abducted, but now he's taking the power back into his own hands, and then realizing no, it's not about me feeling like I have to suppress these feelings or something like that. It's like, no, I need to come to who I am, and that is also tied to this trauma that I've been feeling since I've been abducted. And as we get the reveal that in this final showdown, that basically Vecna is doing the same thing that he did to Will, that he's going to do to other kids. And right before we seen that he's gonna get the final blow on Mike and his mom and Lucas and stuff, all of a sudden we get an amazing flashback of his childhood and of a scene from that was mentioned in season 2.
Yes.
Where Mike was talking to him when he was still in his possessed state, whatever. Like, I remember when I asked you, can we be friends? And I had no friends, when I was in school, and then you let me ride on the swing with you and stuff, and then we ended up becoming best friends. That's one of the best days of my life, and I'm like, I'm glad that they showed that. And again, it didn't seem like anticlimactic. It just felt very raw and personal. And again, it has nothing to do about his sexuality. The fact that we but yet because we know that it is there, like, you end up serving that community and also serving the audience of like, okay, this is how you do representation. Like, you're not beating us over the stick with it. You're not trying to, and then now some people are gonna complain because of the fact that it exists, that it's there, that therefore it's a problem, whatever. I'm not having that conversation. I'm talking about like what this is tied to who Will is as a character, and that this actually was a payoff that was earned, and to a point of him coming fully complete as a person that end up will be serving, I think, the story in volume 2 and in the ending. Now I thought it was just so powerful because, again, it just shows just like, again, this is how you do representation. And then just like you're serving the character, you're serving, and which ties to all things, the storyline. And then when you find out that when he finally comes the realness of himself and accepts and takes that power back, then he reaches out for his hand and he's stopping all these demogorgons, right? Exactly, like verbatim, right? And it's full on Neo 11 type phase and stuff, and then he stops multiple demogorgons that's trying to and protecting his friends and his mother, and then you get this awesome slow-mo shot of the camera coming close to him and the nosebleed and everything, which again, epic. And literally it was just like, yes, Will,
yes,
he is a wizard.
He is the sorcerer.
He got the power, right? He is a sorcerer. But yeah, I thought that was well. What was your thoughts on that?
like as you said, they could have fucked this up. They could have done this in a way where it would not have worked. But it's like it's not about it, but it is, but it also isn't about Will being like, you know, gay. It isn't anything. It's about that, but it's also not about that. And in ways, like it's not the center focus. It's about him being comfortable with who he is as a person, the kid that grew up becoming friends with Mike, who built that fort with his brother, who met Lucas and Dustin and has grown this great friendship with the four of them, and then 11, and then everybody else that they have over the last couple of years, and just trying to keep the people that he cares about safe. This big giant family that he has come to grow to love and also to be protected by. You know, he wants to be the one to do that for them now, and it's like now he has the opportunity to. It's like it really feels like a full circle. Like he was put the sorcerer in their D&D campaign for a reason, and this goes to show just why. This really just goes to show just how much he's grown. And yes, there's also the Harry Potter comparisons as well. It really just goes to show like how much he has grown from the kid that got kidnapped to the kid who is standing up for what he truly cares about and who he loves and who he believes in. And again, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's gay, but it also at the same time serves that in a way that it doesn't feel heavy-handed and forced. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're checking off a mark on, you know, when it comes to no, they're doing it in a way that it feels natural, which is also why I love his dynamic with Robin this season, because like she's been able to show him that you are able to, like, when you truly accept who you are, you feel like you're flying, you feel like you are the best version of yourself. And now he is fully accepting who he is, both the good and the bad. And we'll see how that goes, you know, when we come back with the second volume in Christmas with the next 3 episodes. But yeah, no, it's like that moment is gonna go down not just one of the best moments of this season, but as one of the best freaking moments of this entire series when we go back and evaluate all of Stranger Things once this is all said and done.
Yeah, and I think it ended on a very good note and a high note. That definitely kept me anticipated for what they have in store in volume 2, which will be coming out on Christmas Day. But that concludes our review. Make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. We'll be back reviewing volume 2 and the finale of Stranger Things season 5, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.